So we got the family loaded up in the redesigned Honda Pilot. This is actually the TrailSport. We got this unique blue color. I don't think it's on any other trim, so feast your eyes. Also new to the new generation is not a V6, but it's actually this particular V6. It gives us 5 more horsepower. It's a little bit cleaner burning as well. And it's made it to an all new 10-speed auto, which is very, very smooth, as we'll find out when we start driving this thing. We got the TrailSport logo in the front of the grille. I think Honda's done a really good job with the muscularity of this generation of the Pilot, because the last gen, some people call it like the minivan of crossovers. Not so much here. I think they've done a great job. So we come to the side here. We're not going to get under the vehicle. There's actually some skid plates on this TrailSport, but yeah, anyways, we're doing typical family mall crawling with this thing. We're not going off-road, but you can go off-road. It has a 1-inch lift on here, and you have all-terrain tires. Now as we come to the side here, we have blacked out door handles, roof rails, mirrors, and you know, I actually want bigger tires on this to kind of fill up the wheel well space between the tire. It almost looks like the tires are too small because it has that added lift to put more space between the tire and the body of the vehicle. But when we're talking about a 3-row crossover, we need a good amount of cargo space as well. So as I lift this up, also redesigned back here, full-size hitch receiver as well. The TrailSports, of course, have all-wheel drive. The top of the line I-VTM4, it's essentially the same thing as Acura's super handling all-wheel drives. Gives us a lot of torque to the rear if you need it. I want to say there's around 20 cubic feet of cargo space back here, but you also have this hidden storage where I should have been putting the headrest for the second row the whole time. So I think it's quite functional for a 3-row crossover. You're always going to want more space though, but the Pilot does a pretty good job overall. So let's go ahead and close this down. We do have an automated lift gate here. You're not gonna have a kick sensor because the hitch receiver is over there. So I'm gonna take the camera from you, Cass. We have sunshades here, which is great for the kiddos. Lots of cup holders. I've actually been using them when I put the kids in. I put my cup, my drink here, put the kid in, grab my drink and go. So it's just as functional for adults as it is for the kids. Lots of space here between this nice, beautiful soft touch seats with the orange stitching, even in the back row, mat pocket here. It's soft. And guess what? There's actually a phone pocket here. I don't think I've seen anyone else do that before. Stitching on the back here, climate control in the back, and we also have household plug here. So if you want to run an extension cord as well as USB-A's back there. Huge portion here to get the kids into the 3rd row. You have USBs on each side. Now the vents are by the USB instead of up on the roof, which is most ideal, especially if you have taller people back here. But you know, it's not that far away from the face of the kids having that vent back there, and large cup holders as well. The kids are in awe of the panel roof. Just open the sunshade there. It is quite pretty. On the door here, we do have memory seats, which is great if you're different heights. Me and Cassie are very much different heights, so this is very handy to have it. It doesn't do it on the steering wheel, so we have this beautiful leather wrapped steering wheel, but it is manual tilt and telescopic. I have horizontal lumbar support, but it doesn't go vertically here. But the steering wheel quality is fantastic. The stitching is very solid overall. It's very, very pretty. It feels great in my hands. I also have paddle shifters here to row through the 10-speed auto. We have a partially digital MID, so from here on over, it is digital and the speedometer is analog. But on the very top trim, I think this turns into all digital here. I don't mind having the analog speedometer here as well as having a digital assistance. I'm getting a whopping 16 miles per gallon here with this thirsty V6. And we have a very small screen. That's something that is quite strange because this vehicle feels huge, which is great. That's what you want as a family hauler. The screen's dinky, and it does have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto with this screen, but I plug in my phone. For some reason, it's not connecting wired or wirelessly, but there it goes. All right, so now that we have Android Auto plugged in, it takes up the whole screen. It is quite clear. I'm not getting a lot of glares. Oh, it was the Sienna last week. Yeah, the Sienna last week had a lot of glares. This, I can't see you in it, which is great because in the Sienna, I could see you. It was like a mirror. It was terrible, but Honda just update this to your 12-inch screen that you have in your Accord. Climate control in here has been good in terms of functionality. It took forever to cool this thing off when we got into it. Yes, it was sitting in our driveway in the Florida sun until about noon, and it took maybe 10 minutes to get it to a cool enough state where I could actually take it off full fan speed. So it's not the best AC system in here, I'll say that. Yes, it has a lot of room to cool down, but the fans blowing at me were not cold until 10-15 minutes into the driving experience. So try to park it in shade or a garage if you can during the summer. And this TrailSport, we have heated outboard seats. We do not have ventilated seats. You also have this little cubby in here. I can store some stuff, but honestly, like what my mom would use that for Kleenexes. So like that's the only thing I can think of wanting to store in there. Maybe a deck of cards or whatever. But anyways, The materials on the dash are quite nice. We have a lot of width in here. It almost feels like a truck, to be honest. We're not sitting up quite as high as a truck. When we start driving it, it does feel like a truck with the width. And where my arms sit, it's very accommodating. Sometimes I can't put my elbow on the armrest because it's way too low. This vehicle, not the case. I feel super comfortable. I could go on long road trips in this, no problem. Wireless phone charger down here. There's a lot of space to put your phone if you want to. So you can have access to 2 cup holders here, which are generously sized. We have push button drive select here, as well as different drive modes. I've been keeping it in normal mode pretty much this whole time. You have downhill ascent control. Oh, one thing here. It does have the trail cam, which is great. For us, it's the mall crawling cam. And it's right here. So you'd think it'd be somewhere around in this area, but it's actually on your windshield wiper control to pick up the 360 cam, top-down cam. The thing is, sometimes you accidentally hit the windshield wipers when you're hitting this camera. We have a sunglasses holder built in with some foam, and then you have a nice, actually a huge visor here to see what the kids are doing. We were in the Sienna last week, and it was like this wide. You could barely see anything out of it. I can actually see myself in it quite well. Okay, we don't have a digital rearview mirror in this model. That's all right. Visibility out the back is actually still quite good, even with the headrest up back there. Underneath the armrest, we do have a little rubber mat at the bottom, but it's largely plastic, and there's not even a light in here to shine down light at night for you to find your belongings inside. Pilot TrailSport, just in normal mode here. A lot of engine noise. Doesn't sound too bad. 7.67 to 60 and 8.19 to 100 kilometers per hour. Pretty quick here with this new V6, 285 horse. Let's slap it into, well, wow. We have a lot of drive modes here. Snow, trail, sand, tow. Well, we're just gonna try sport for the next run. And let's go ahead and put it in sequential mode here. No difference, 7.71, just a hair slower even in sport mode, so there's no point ever putting it in sport mode unless you like engine braking. I noticed that the engine like to stay in high revs, which also affects the engine braking here with this 10-speed auto. All right, pushing it into drive here. Cass, do you like the push button start or the push button? I know it has push button start, but the push button drive? You know, I'm a more traditional kind of gal. Okay. Do you like how it kind of like adds more breathability, not having like a traditional shifter? You know, that is nice. That is the benefit to it, right? Yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful LC convertible. Oof. The tan top. It's got the toasted caramel interior. Anyways, you know, I don't like the push button start, but that's just a personal preference. It's extremely easy to use though. I'm not gonna like, and my hands just never run. Like if I want to get to my cup here, it's just open. Now, they don't actually need to put this here. They could actually put this somewhere else and we could have more space down here, but it's, you know, I'm just finding things to complain about because there's very little things to complain about here in the new Pilot. The ride quality is fantastic. It's really quiet. Even though we get a little bit of road noise and tire noise from these all-terrain tires, it's still very quiet overall until, you know, you need to push the AC. I'm already getting hot in here, so I gotta turn it back up to 3 fan speeds. But the braking in here is great. It's really predictable. There's no pitch or dive weirdness going on. The transmission is typically pretty smooth. There's no heavy or clunky shifts that we've had in the past with Honda 9-speed ZF transmissions. This thing is buttery smooth, especially when it's up to running temperature. On cold starts, sometimes it's a bit rough, but once you're driving it for a while, it's smooth as butter. The steering wheel is fantastic, like I mentioned. It's pretty light steering overall. And there's not a lot of turns here in Florida, but when I did throw it in a turn during my nighttime review, I was actually impressed with how good it felt in the turn. Nice. So kind of Honda baking in its DNA of the like the Civic into this large crossover. Now, Cass, what do you think of this interior with the black and the orange? It's a bit more masculine, but because it's somewhat like a truck, I think it's fine. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. You know, you and I are both always going to gravitate towards lighter interiors. Yeah. And you can get lighter interiors in the Pilot, just I don't think in this TrailSport trim.
I just
so
prefer them for like heat, you know, like it's just.
Oh, it's just so hot here. Yeah,
it is really hot to have like a really dark interior.
Right, and I don't have ventilated. You don't have ventilated seats either on this TrailSport, and since it was sitting in the sun, these seats are a little toasty, moist.
A little toasty.
Yeah, I do have auto folding mirrors here, which I guess is a nice feature, especially if you're doing some off-roading. You don't hit them on shrubberies, but in real world applications, it's so other people don't nail them while they park next to you at Costco or whatever. Rolling into the gas here, listen to that V6. Plenty of power. Shifts are buttery smooth. I adore this powertrain 95% of the time. The other 5%, I'm just looking down at the average fuel economy, and now it's down to 15.7 miles per gallon. That was the first time in a while that I've actually put the foot down. So even just coasting and babying this thing, you're not going to see probably even 20 miles per gallon in town. And that hurts because a lot of the competition, like the Mazda CX-90, the new Toyota Grand Highlander, those have hybrids that get minimum 25 miles per gallon, up to like 35 miles per gallon. And so I wish Honda just had some sort of form of their hybrid system that's so good on their Accord and their CR-V to be featured here in a large crossover as well. They just don't have it for whatever reason. Cass, what do you think of how this looks on the outside?
I love the exterior.
Okay, really?
No, maybe it's the color.
You like the color a lot? Okay. It is quite uplifting. It's like literally like blue sky.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And I typically like that look of, what do you call it? Body on frame look or whatever?
Yeah, this does have more of a boxy traditional look to it.
So I'm a fan of that look in general.
That is a good point, because even though this is a crossover, it's a unibody, it does feel in a lot of ways, and since it is kind of sitting up higher in this TrailSport, it does in some ways feel like what you said, a body on frame or traditional truck. So that's why I feel like this is more of a truck than it is a crossover, just because it's so boxy and wide and big.
Right.
And with the AC on and these, the ambient noise we get from these all-terrain tires, really don't hear anything from other cars as well, which is great. Like,
it's nice.
The noise suppression is fantastic.
It's a good drive.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the AC.
Yeah, the AC could be a little bit stronger here. It's almost on par with our 2013 minivan.
I would say,
it's a brand new car. It's 10 years newer, and the AC is on par with an older car. Just not.
I can't help you then, Momo. You're too hot. I'm sorry.
She's too hot. Yeah. So we're complaining about the AC. The kids are complaining about the AC. Just trying to keep the fan speed at a moderate, like 3 or 4 bars here, but it's still just too hot even for the kids in the second row. So, and it doesn't help that I opened the sunroof for them as well. And we've become an incubator now.
We're bacon.
Yeah. We would take an Odyssey over this.
Yeah.
But we're partial to minifans with how many little kids we have. So
it's a necessity at this point.
Yeah, the Odyssey still has an optical disc player. They still have the Blu-ray. You got the sliding doors, a lot more cargo than this. So we're always going to pick an Odyssey if we're going in the Honda camp over the Pilot. But
the Pilot's cuter.
Pilot's way cooler.
Yeah.
Oh, and I heard Gigi snoozing back there. So it's definitely a comfortable ride, quiet ride to knock the kids out for a nap as well.
Yeah.
But all right, we're gonna shut down there. Thanks, Honda, for sending it to us. We'll see you guys in the comments. If you enjoyed today's little family quick review of the Pilot, smash the like button, subscribe for more Honda updates along the way. Hopefully, I'm holding out one day for a hybrid version of this. That would be fantastic. That'd really fill in its biggest weakness, is the 16 miles per gallon fuel economy that we're seeing. But all right, thanks Honda, thanks Cass, thanks kids. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace. So which trim level of the new Pilot should you get? Well, there's a base LX trim that came after the launch of this vehicle. Small wheels, smaller screen, no parking sensors, and heck, there's not even parking sensors on the Sport model, but it does have blind spot monitor, so that might be an option for you. I honestly think this EXL mid-grade is the best deal on here. You also have the TrailSport as well, well, which of course is in the review of this. But I'm not the biggest fan of that dark interior. And yes, you could go the Touring Elite if you gotta have the extra things like the panel moonroof, the head-up display. But man, that panel roof makes that car hot. So, you know, at this price point, I think it's really strong for what you get here. Parking sensors, power tailgate, leather trimmed interior on the TrailSport. It's synthetic leather. And you also have the bigger screen here with wireless Apple Car and Android Auto. So let's pick this guy. If you need to have all-wheel drive, you can get it for an extra $2,100, and it is the I-VTM4 system. So it is the beefed up differential on it if you need it. But in Florida, front wheel drive, I'll save a couple $1,000. Now, you don't get that amazing diffused sky blue color like you have on the TrailSport. If you got to have that color, I totally get it. Go for the TrailSport, which I think is a pretty good deal. Not as good deal as this EXL. Anyways, you have the light silver. This is like the iconic Pilot color. I swear you see old first and second generation Pilots running around in silver. White will be popular down here in Florida. I like a little bit of color, and I don't really like this dark blue. So let's go for the red here. Radiant Red Metallic 2. Unfortunately, though, guys, it only comes with this paint color with black interior. But currently how it's being built, either this lunar silver or the blue is going to be coupled with this light interior. And this is my favorite, right? This leather trim, light gray interior. I think it looks great. It's going to help keep the car a little bit cooler as well. Nice light headliner as well to make it very, even though it doesn't have the panel roof, with this sort of light interior, it's going to bring a lot of light into the cabin. So let's go ahead and click next. We don't need any special wheels here. I think these 18-inch wheels are going to be great. And we don't need any HPD packages or anything like that. If you need the towing package with the trailer hitch, I totally get it. And if you need captain's chairs, you can go that option as well. But I like the option of having that extra seat in the middle. And just like the MDX, I'm pretty sure this middle seat on the 8-seater can be stowed in the back underneath the floor. So might as well save a little bit of money and get the 8-seater with the optional extra seat here that you can remove if you need to. I like the all-season floor mats to have, especially with having the kids. So let's get those rubber mats in there. I like the option of the crossbars here and the roof rails, just in case you want to take a long road trip and have the option of attaching some storage down the road. So this front wheel drive model comes in at around $44,000, just under $45,000 after destination. And looking at cars.com, no, I'm not sponsored by them. If they want to send me a partnership, I'd be happy because I refer to them a lot. But anyways, looking at cars.com, within 100 miles, there are some 8-passenger EXLs. And we also have the option of ticking that gray box there for that nice lighter interior. And you can see here's a blue model already. And then you'll also have silver and gray is going to be pretty common as well. Here are those fenders, those over fenders with the HPD package, which I think looks pretty ridiculous. But hey, if you want to stand out in your Pilot, maybe even more than the TrailSport, there you go with the gold wheel package. But I got to shut it down there. Make sure you subscribe for more Honda and Acura news and reviews in the future. Have a great day and peace.